his voice. Let's start with the good stuff, because that's what we need to do after hearing a lot of the Democrat things going on. It's good to see you, Congressman. How's everything?
We're doing well, Drew. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, so first of all, we talked about this numerous times. It really felt like when people start to realize what kind of benefit they're going to get with tax refunds this year, they're going to be pretty excited. And I know this was something that you were mentioning and others were talking about as well with regard to these tax cuts and getting money back in people's pockets,
Well, 100%. I mean, that's the fundamental difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats think all the power should be in Washington. You should send yourself more money up to Washington because they know better than you. It's the arrogance of it all. We think exactly the opposite. We think that with money comes responsibility. So we want to give you more of your hard-earned money back, and you decide how to spend it best. And unlike a lot of Democrats, we actually kept our promises. We said we'd lower your taxes on overtime and tips and Social Security, and we would stop the largest tax increase in American history. And we did that. And look at the good results that are coming. Lower interest rates, lower gas prices, the border, of course, is secure. We kept our promises, and all the Democrats can guarantee is chaos like we're seeing in Minneapolis.
Yeah. And even talking of shutdowns and the like, which is amazing to me, because I'm still waiting, Congressman. I think we've probably talked about this too before. Mm-hmm. I'm still waiting for that brilliant Democrat idea of what they want to do to put more money in people's pockets, to bring down the cost of everyday goods. Because we saw what they did when they were in power with Joe Biden and Democrats, and what a disaster that was. So the only thing that they can lean into or bank on is the rhetoric, is this hateful rhetoric. It's about shutdowns and doing all of these different things and leaning into what they think are political winners, when quite honestly, the American people know when they see a lot of the coordination with the violence and the rioting that's going on in very specific areas across the country. And that's the key, right? Very specific areas of the country, because it certainly isn't happening here in the state of Florida, and it's not happening in a lot of other places where deportations are taking place,
I couldn't agree more. And look, wait, before this latest incident in Minneapolis, the truth is we need to look at the state of Minnesota and their corrupt politics. It's literally like organized crime. Everyone knows that when an inspector comes in for a daycare center or nursing home, they've got to report in what happened at that place. Someone clearly told the investigator, turn a blind eye. To me, that's organized crime, and we should use the same statutes we used against organized crime. Dr. Oz has been going to places not just in this, of course, Democrat area, but across the country, and showing these people are systematically stealing money from the government for saying they provided services that were never provided. That's fraud. And it's criminal. And then they ask the people of Minnesota to get in the way of a law enforcement action. They are preaching chaos. They're not rooting for the United States anymore. All they care about is power, plain and simple.
Yeah, and I don't want people to miss what you just said, because it really is important. The people that are speaking the way they are and talking about what you just described are elected officials. We're not just talking about somebody who's standing in front of a building, who's talking to a politician, and maybe they're one of these people that are rioting. We're talking about elected officials who are calling for a lot of what has been happening and the lack of help from law enforcement in these communities. It's shameful.
It really is shocking. I mean, here are people who came here illegally. Then they came here and committed some type of criminal act, violent acts, sexual acts, drug dealing, whatever it might be. They get arrested. And then the gall, these same people who are elected say, no, let them out back into the community in which they serve, and gave them the honor to serve so they can do it all over again. And then gin up those same neighbors who might be victims of crime to say, get in the way of these people being arrested. I mean, I can't even describe how stupid that is, or criminal that is, to perpetrate this on your own voters. And then at the expense that all of us in the United States have to pay for the fraud that they've been committing on top of that. I mean, I can't believe that they've even been taken seriously given these acts that are taking place over the last few weeks.
And that's why we need to really dig in deep and continue to do this, right? Before we go, I would ask you this, because it feels as if we're onto something. You know, you mentioned Dr. Oz, and as he's going around right now, I had a video that I was looking at. I'll see if I can pull that up for the audience coming up, where once again, he's driving down the streets there in, I believe it's St. Paul, and he's seeing these, I guess these medical centers or home health care service. Like there's like multiple ones on the same street. And it's like, there's something going on here that's not right. And we're discovering more and more of what is the fraud. So it almost feels like we're on to a game of fraud that is happening in certain areas where there are people, and it looks like maybe even officials allegedly, who are willing to keep and foment all of this hate on the streets so that they won't get caught in the deeds that they have done.
And it's just it's the exact reason why Rick Scott and I and others are working for transparency and how money is being spent. These fraudsters are ripping people off. And the Democrats have the gall to come in and tell people, get in the way of these officers who are simply just trying to arrest criminals. It is so bad. These people are extracting money from people who work hard every day. It cuts at the very fabric of America when they do this type of stealing. And so I'm optimistic that we can, one, continue to push on this, and two, that people can see through this action by the Democrats of who's on their side. We're trying to give you your own hard-earned money back. They're trying to steal it from you and give it to people who are committing fraud in a rampant, systematic way, not just in Minnesota, but around the country.
Right. And by the way, the same elected officials who are trying to tell you that they are for law and order. Can you stop this now? Can you stop the nonsense? It's not about what you say, it's what you do. Right?
I couldn't agree more. And again, it's incredibly frustrating. I can only imagine the people who are working so hard to pay these taxes, or the people who actually have these legitimate business being undercut by these people who just commit fraud, knowing that the elected official wants to look the other way because it's in their best political interest. This is pure politics, plain and simple. It's about power, and people are being used as pawns to stop this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Congressman, listen, great to see you. All the best. God bless. Look forward to the next time we can get together, okay?
Great to see you, Drew. Thanks for what you do every single day.
All right, appreciate you.